Hi YouTube, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can find me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Today's a pretty exciting day. I just picked up a GoPro Hero 5 4K little bitty camera. You know, for years I've been pretty much fighting my cameras. I mean, my first camera was a Nikon Coolpix, and it is a I mean, it'll take videos, but it's normally like a picture type camera. And then, you know, I worked with that for a long time, and then everybody kept saying, hey, your camera looks like it's, you know, 100 years old, maybe you ought to get a new one. And it just so happened that my wife, who's in photography, she got a new camera and was letting me borrow her old camera, which is a Nikon D something or other. It's a big old fancy thing, whole bunch of buttons, you know, manual focus, autofocus, and that thing, you know, it's the same deal. I mean, it's a camera that's designed mostly to take pictures, but it will shoot video. And I had a real problem with it on the video with the autofocus. If I left the autofocus on, then you got a whole bunch of whirs and pops, you know, as the motor was making the focus go in and out. So I would shoot manual. Well, then, you know, I have to stay pretty much behind the camera all the time to make sure the focus is in focus. So the other day I got thinking about it, and I thought, you know what, I'm sick and tired of messing with this. So I did some research, and Walmart had a online price on these things for like 250 bucks. So I picked it up, and this is the very first video I'm going to shoot with it. And it's kind of a okay video. I mean, it's boxing and shipping custom knives. At least the way I do it. But I figured it was a reason, you know, an excuse to shoot a video, so we're going to try it out. So what I've got is I took and built a stand. Let's see here. I've got a couple of different mounts. Alright, let's take you off here. Alright, so this mount right here, it is the plastic thing that came with the, you know, it's part of the packaging. And I looked at it, and it's got the little doohickey right there that, you know, the bottom thingamabobber goes into. So I just took it off the box, and it's got glue and on the little feet that's in there. So I just cut a piece of flat stock and set it on there, and boy, it sure seems to sit pretty solid. And then on the bottom thing right here, it's got a knob that you can loosen and tighten and rotate it, you know, forward and back. So we'll have to see how it works. So we're going to put you back on that. Yes, we go backwards. And then the other mount that I have is my old hard hat from when I used to work at the chemical plant out west of town. Never thought that I would wear this hat again. I brought it home the last day that I worked there. I guess they didn't want it back, and my boy, he was quite a bit younger, and he was into Bob the Builder. Well, this hat looks an awful lot like Bob the Builder, so you know, I mean, he played with it and wore it all the time. And so well, he quit playing with it, of course, obviously a while back, because, well, he's 15 now and not really into Bob the Builder anymore. So I grabbed it back and put the other little mount on there so I can put you on my head. We're going to do some sharpening videos, some forging videos. Man, I've got all kind of plans now that I've got this new camera, if it works out, and, you know, it works pretty good. So anyway, so then enough about the GoPro. I'm really excited to use it, though. So right now I'm boxing up the knives that sold over the weekend. Right now we've got a nice large hunter, one of the HEPK style knives. HEPK stands for High Endurance Performance Knife. This is forged 52-100, convex grind, distal taper on the blade, about 1 1/8 wide. It does have the long ricasso so that you can put your hand or your front finger up and really choke up on the guard if you need to. Indian rosewood handle with a black and red linen micarta spacer and a brass pin. Standard sheath for one of these type knives. Clean leather, clean meaning that it doesn't have any stamping or anything on it. Dyed. It's 10 to 13 ounce cow leather rivets on the back so that there's no way that you can cut the stitching on those rivets. And then it's got a cam built into the welt so that as you sheath the knife, here in a little bit you'll see a click, that little click right there. You can hold it upside down, shake it all you want to, it's not coming out. You can fall off a mountain, and more than likely it's not gonna, you know, the sheath isn't gonna release the knife. But then when you need it, you know, you pop it out one-handed resheath, everything's good to go. So we take the knife, my spec sheet, which I don't know if all the other makers make spec sheets or not, but there's a spec sheet that's got the date the knife was made, the style, the steel type, the handle material, the price, what kind of guard, what kind of sheath, overall length, blade length, shipping cost, the width of the knife, the grind. This on the grind I put, like this one's a convex grind. You can have convex, flat, hollow grind. And then these three measurements right here are the measurements of the steel at the shoulder of the edge, a 1/4 inch behind the edge, and at the spine. So those three numbers give you a pretty good idea about what you can expect from the knife, how easy it's gonna get into your work, how well it's gonna pass through the work, and then how tough it is also. The blade finish is next, and then the weight of the knife including the sheath. So anyway, so we take that, roll it up, stick it into the belt loop. One of my business cards right there to, you know, just in case somebody needs it later. And then what I do is, right before I package it, I do a once over on it. I say, okay, well, did I miss anything? You know, on this particular type knife, there is a square corner right here. I'm right-handed, it's a right-handed sheath. So this side right here will be rounded off real nice. This side right here I typically leave nice and square so that you can use it to strike a ferro rod. Most of my knives are differentially hardened, and the spines are nice and rounded so that they don't dig into your thumb. So I leave that corner right there fairly sharp so that you can strike sparks off of a ferro rod, because a lot of guys like doing that. And it being on the opposite side of the knife, you typically don't feel it when the knife's in use. So anyway, so I'm gonna try to tilt this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so first of all, you know, I look it over, make sure everything looks good, the finish looks fairly even. You know, there'll be a little bit of wax residue because these sheaths, I used to wax the outside of them and then try to wax as much of the inside as I could get, and I never really had good luck with it. So what I did was I built a wax tank. So now that wax tank's got 50-50 beeswax and neat's foot in it. So you heat it up on a propane burner here on the bench just until everything's nice and liquid and mixed together, and you just start seeing some bubbles come up. You pre-warm the sheath in the toaster so that it'll accept the wax, and then you dunk the whole sheath in there. Do a 2 or 3 count, pull it up, dump off the excess wax, put it back in the toaster for, I don't know, 3-5 minutes, something like that, so that the leather absorbs it, and then pull the sheath out, buff it off, let it cool for a day or two, and then away you go. So anyway, so you will end up with some wax streaks on the blade. It's just kind of the nature of the game. So I pull it out, give it a quick palm strop, and then look at the edge. There's no bright spots. With my thumb, it feels fairly sharp. We'll do the whole take a couple hairs off my arm type deal. You can see they're popping off real nice. So I test for sharpness, once over to make sure it's right, and then the point, hoping you're going to be able to see this, take the point and just kind of grab the prints on my finger and see if it'll grab those, and see it'll kind of pull the skin away. That lets you know you've got a good sharp point. So that's just a once over, so in case this guy buys this knife and then takes it on an elk hunt tomorrow or the day after he gets it, he's going to get good service out of it. Any knife that's got a sheath, it gets shipped in the sheath. sure you're getting all this. There we go. Got you on my drill press table right now. Any knife that has a sheath, it gets shipped in the sheath. If it's like a kitchen knife or a straight razor or something, then I typically like to use these little boxes that I've got. And that is really cool because you can see the little screen right here tells you how long we've been going and how much battery is left. So anyway, so I use the local traders. It's kind of like a thrifty nickel or something. Just a classified type deal. And I typically try to stock up on them at the end of the week. They come out every Friday. And so, you know, whatever's left over for that week, they're going to have to recycle it anyways. So I'll grab them and use them as packing material. So you fold it, you know, you roll the knife up, fold over the edges. I really love the USPS flat rate shipping boxes. These things are amazing. You know, you get on the Postal Service website. You get on the Postal Service website, you log in with a login, they will ship as many of these boxes as you can use to your house for free. They just ask that you use them for what they're intended for. So this right here is a medium. I usually order them, I don't know, I think they come in packs of 25 mostly. I use mostly the small, and then there's two sizes of medium. This is the kind of the smaller medium. I load up the bottom of the box with a whole bunch of crumpled traders. Stick the knife in the bottom there. I roll up 2 extra pieces, and on these, they get shipped catty corner in this box. So I'll put one in the back, or one at each corner. That way that knife can't move around. Then we just load up the rest of the box. And I like to use a lot. You know, I want that box to be filled up so that when you close the box, it kind of pushes up against the flaps. See, now when I let go, it kind of pushes up. Excuse me. That lets me know that there's no extra space in here, so that when I pick this box up, once it's all taped down, so when I pick this box up and shake it, nothing moves. And if it doesn't move, then I'm pretty sure that the knife is going to arrive safely wherever it is that it's going, and it's not going to be all messed up inside there. Don't skimp on the shipping or the shipping materials. So then what we've got here is also with the with PayPal or with my website, any of those, you know, you can print your shipping labels online. You pay for them online, you print them out on your home printer, and then cut them out, tape them to the top of the box. And I like to go completely across the label. It uses more tape and everything, but in my mind what it does is it gives that label a layer of protection so that if it gets wet, you know, they can still read it and they can still scan it, because I've received boxes in the mail that were pretty beat up. You know, looked like they'd been left out in the rain a couple of times. Not very often, but you know, occasionally you do. So between the shipping label and then my business card in the middle, or in the inside the package, if something ever happens, you know, they should be able to find, you know, at least where it came from, and then call me up, and then I can let them know where it's going to go to. So anyway, so that's that. Those will get shipped out tomorrow. Pretty easy, huh? You know, I mean, honestly, you don't even have to leave the house if you use the USPS or the shop. You know, you can print this, or when you buy your label, click on the little box that says, hey, the postman's going to be coming by your house anyway tomorrow to deliver your regular mail. you can click on that box and he will swing by your house and pick them up on his way past. I think it's an absolutely great service. Of course, I usually like kind of getting out once a day anyway, so I'll swing down to the post office. Let's see, what else have we got here today we can talk about? No, I'll leave you up there. Let's see, the slip joints. The new batch of slip joints is coming out nice. I don't know if you can see them there. Yeah, you can see them there, and this should get bigger when I put it on the laptop. Anyway, so we've got two single-bladed slip joints. One in pink G10 and one in purple G10. The purple one here, this is for a friend of mine. She asked me for one a couple of months ago, and this is the first time I'm finally now getting around to it. But we got 1095 single blade, 1095 spring. Let's see, these have been surface ground on the new surface grinding attachment. I've cut the liners on the milling machine with the rotary table so that it won't scratch the blade up. This one right here has got some scratches because I thought I already had that done and I didn't. But this one, it's, you know, those liners are milled. You won't be able to see it all that well. Like this, like that right there. So you take your a 1/2 inch end mill and then just come in, touch off, and then cut all the way around there, and then that way you don't get those annoying scratches on the tangs of your blades. So this one pretty much, these ones right here, since they are G10 scales, they'll get these bushings. These bushings right here, this is a 1/4 inch. It'll get a pocket cut out in the tank, or in the outside of the scale. So I'll cut a pocket in right there with a little pocket cutter that I made on the lathe, and then this will get inset in there and then glued, and then the pin goes through. You'll have one on either side, and then when you pin the pins, you get much more surface area, which gets you a much stronger side-to-side strength on these. So anyway, these are pretty plain Jane. These ones right here, these ones are pretty nice. These are double-bladed. So we got the large blade, and then we got the small blade. These have got bolsters, liners, dovetailed. Where are you at there? See if you can see that. Dovetailed bolsters and scales. So these need finished ground, and then you know, rough in the scales, finish the blades out, differentially temper the blades so that, you know, the tangs are a little bit softer, so it'll be a little bit stronger. And then the position of the blades inside the case, some of them need to be let down and adjusted. This one right here, I think, is going to be pretty nice. I've got pretty high hopes for it. This is the first knife that's going to get the stabilized cottonwood burl on it. So it ought to be fun. I'm really excited to see how that turns out. And then this one is just regular old cow bone. I haven't decided if I was going to try to do like a rustic finish on this or not yet. I guess I'll decide when I get to it, but it's also a 2-blader. So it'll be pretty sweet. Alright, well, I suppose that's about enough. I guess I will go. That's right. I wanted to make kind of a conscious effort, or an effort to start looking at the camera a little bit. So yeah, it'll take me a while to get used to that. So anyway, this ought to be enough for this video. I'm gonna go ahead and download it and see how the angles and everything worked on the camera. See how my voice is. Maybe I can quit shouting at you guys. That would be kind of cool. Make sure it looks good, and then post it up on YouTube. I don't ever do any of the editing stuff. I did learn how, just in case I want to do like take two videos and then smash them together. and I learned how to do that. I did that once, but most of the time, honestly, I just shoot these and then you get them the way that they're shot. I suppose it'd be cool if I knew how to edit really good, but honestly, you know that nothing's been edited because I don't really know how to edit. Anyway, again, this is Joe Calton with Calton Cutlery. You can find me on the web, caltoncutlery.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned how to, or enjoyed watching me box up a knife and seeing the slip joints. And we will see you next time.